For a U.S. president, staying in office beyond 2,100 days to essentially get to the middle of a second term is a feat unto itself, certainly among presidents in the last half century. In this period, only Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, and Dwight D. Eisenhower experienced what has historically been an unpleasant juncture. In terms of their approval ratings, at this point in their presidencies, how do they compare with one another? Of this group, President Bush had the lowest overall approval ratings, followed by President Barack Obama. President Bill Clinton had the highest marks at this point, with a 66% approval rating. But there's another way to look at these ratings: the spread between approval ratings from Americans in the president's own party versus the opposing party. It gives you a sense of how polarizing each president was at this point in his presidency. By this measure, which presidents were the most polarizing? President Bush also holds the lead in this category, with 74 percentage points separating the views of Democrats versus Republicans. President Barack Obama isn't far behind, with a 71% divide, followed by Presidents Clinton, Reagan, and Eisenhower. Are there correlations between a president's popularity and the outcome of the second-term midterm election? Recent history sure suggests so. The Republican Party under the second President Bush, the least popular of the bunch, got clobbered in 2006, with Democrats capturing control of the U.S. House and Senate. Whereas under President Clinton, the most popular, Democrats picked up 5 seats in the House and kept their Senate numbers even. President Reagan's party lost 8 Senate seats, allowing Democrats to regain control of the Senate for the first time since 1980, and to add an additional 5 seats to their House majority. But the interesting outlier is President Eisenhower. Though he had the approval of the majority of Americans, Democrats won 15 Senate seats that year and picked up 48 seats in the House. What does that tell you? Political analysts say that today's highly polarized electorate is more likely to vote in House and Senate races based on how they feel about the president in power. And those who aren't fans of the guy who has been in office for the past 6 years are generally more motivated to go to the polls than those who are indifferent or in favor of the leader in the White House. That's the short answer.